What's up, guys? This is David over at Nullset Computer Company, and today we are going to be going over Group Policy Management Console again. This is the second of 4 videos on the Group Policy Management Console, or the GPMC, and today we're going to be taking a look over some desktop policy settings, locking down some workstations, stuff like that. So it's not going to be a very long video, and you're going to learn a couple things about applying group policy to the desktops and locking down the workstation. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go over here to my Microsoft Management Console. I'm going to get that open. And we'll just wait for it. Okay, here we are. The first thing I want to do is go into Active Directory Users and Computers, and I'm going to create a couple new users and groups just for demo purposes. Okay, now instead of going to the MMC or the Microsoft Management Console, additionally you could go into Control Panel and Server Roles and access it that way as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and create a new group. Let's say that I just hired a couple employees and they're down in Las Vegas. Okay, so we're going to call these Las Vegas employee, or we'll just call these Vegas employees to keep it simple. Okay. And let's go ahead and create a new user. And it's going to be Samuel Jackson. Okay, sam.jackson at corp.nullset.com. Next, don't want him to change his password. We're going to go ahead and give him a complex password, if you remember in the last video. In the last video we went over auditing policies, some different things like that, roaming profiles. So let's go ahead and get him set up. Okay, he is set up. Okay, we're going to go new, create another user. And this is going to be Michael Jackson. Rest in peace, Michael Jackson. Okay, so we got Michael Jackson. We're going to make his Michael.Jackson, no relation to Samuel L. Jackson. Next. Okay, we're going to give him a complex password as well. Okay, and he's finished. So now that we've created our users here, let's go ahead and add them to our Vegas employees group. Okay, let's see, add to group. And we're going to also add Michael Jackson to that group as well. Okay, so they've been added to our group. Let's go ahead and so that they can log into the domain controller here, since I don't have any client workstations. I'm working on one virtual machine. Go ahead and edit the default domain policy, or I'm sorry, the default domain controllers policy. And we're going to allow them local login, if you remember from the last couple of videos. Just so that they can log into the domain controller. Okay, policies. We'll go ahead and expand this. Windows. let's go ahead and add Vegas employees. So now everybody inside of that Vegas employees group will be able to log into the domain. Okay, so we can go ahead and close that. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a new organizational unit under domain controllers here. Okay, and we'll call this organizational unit, we'll just call it, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go, right there. And we're just going to call this default desktop policy. Okay, so within that default desktop policy, let's go ahead and create a group policy object, and we'll call this Vegas desktop policy to keep things simple there. Alright, and I just want to show you guys something real quick. The way it goes is we have our forest, right? That's our parent, and then we have all of our child objects underneath it, right? And the way it goes is this domain policy is going to get combined with the GPO that I created here, right? So it's applied from top to bottom. So this one's going to be applied first, and then this one is going to be applied last. So let's take a look at something. If we right click on the default domain policy, you'll see something that says enforced, right? When we click that, it gives us a little lock icon there. And basically what that is for is if I go over here to this OU, the default desktop policy OU, and right click on that, you'll see something that says block inheritance. Now block inheritance in 2003 used to be no override policy. In 2008 it's block inheritance now, and basically what that means is if this OU has block inheritance enabled, the parent policy that is above it, so this default domain policy, will not be applied to this organizational unit down here. Additionally, though, if we have enforced checked off here on the default domain policy, even if block inheritance on this organizational unit is checked, it will override it. So if the parent domain policy is enforced, then even if you use block inheritance down under a child OU, it will still override it. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and uncheck both of these, unenforce that, and we will not block inheritance on this. But I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. That's basically what that means. Alright, so let's go back to our GPO right here, our Vegas desktop policy. Alright, and let's set delegation here. Now, as you can see, it's applied to authenticated users. That's for anybody who logs into the domain. Additionally, just what I'd like to show you is you can filter out certain, like if there's a specific person within a OU that you don't want this GPO to be applied to, then this is where you can set it. So let's say we had let's say Michael Jackson. Let's say we didn't want this GPO to apply to Michael Jackson, right? And what you can see here is it comes up with add group or user window, right? So his permissions, what we can do is we can set to read. Additionally, once he's been added here, okay, even though he is part of the Las Vegas new employees group, we don't want him we trust him, so we know that he's not going to offend anybody or anything with his wallpaper, or, do anything malicious. So we can go down here to advanced, and we'll just wait for it. Computer's running extremely slow today. What is going on? Of course. Hopefully it will start responding. We'll just give it a second. Just took it a little bit. Let's kind of close that, and we'll go back into the advanced just so we can see. There we go. Alright, back to normal. Now what we want to do is we want to explicitly deny him the access to read this GPO. Okay, so let's go ahead and deny read access on it. So whether he might be in several other groups that are going to have this GPO applied to him, that is implicitly implied. We explicitly denied him here on his object. So Michael Jackson, the object, is explicitly denied read control over that GPO, right? So it should not apply to him, even though he is within a organizational unit that this GPO is going to be applied to. Alright, so, and just to be safe, let's go ahead and add our Vegas employees OU in here, just to make sure that it is applied. So we'll go ahead and click OK. Alright, so we've got that set up. So now, since we have our default domain policy, we also have our default domain controller policy. What is going to happen is, if you have settings on the parent policy up here, and then you have settings down here on the child GPO, which would be Vegas desktop policy, what's going to happen is this policy up here and this policy down here are going to combine, as long as there's nothing conflicting that is defined within each policy. So basically what that's called is it's cumulative. It gives you a cumulative policy with both of them being combined together, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and edit this policy, and let's get down and dirty, and we'll lock down some workstations, and we'll just wait here. Okay, so let's go ahead and maximize this window here, and under user configuration we're going to go to policies, then we're going to go to administrative templates, and I'll expand that out so you can see. And you see desktop here, and we'll go ahead and expand that as well. So let's go under desktop here. And let's say that we got a company wallpaper that we want everybody to use, so that they're not going to be using their own wallpaper or offending anybody with their wallpaper that they choose, right? So let's go ahead and double click this, and let's define this policy. We'll go ahead and enable active desktop, and you can see it allows HTML and JPEG wallpaper, so we'll apply that. Okay, and then so disable active desktop, we don't want to define that because we don't want to have this defined and this defined here. For some reason it didn't take effect. There we go. Alright, and then you can see there's other ones. There's desktop wallpaper, prohibit adding items, prohibit closing items, add or delete items, disable all items, allow only bitmap wallpaper. There's a bunch of different ones. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and if we are going to have one wallpaper uniformly for all of the different clients that are be connecting to our domain controller, what we should do is we should set our wallpaper up and create a directory. I created a directory here on root C and just called it wallpaper, I believe. Let me check. And what we're going to want to do with that directory is we're going to want to share that directory out with the rest of the network. Okay, so we got company wallpaper here, and inside of it you can see we have a JPEG file. Right, and that JPEG file is just what's here on my administrator desktop. It's my company logo. So we'll go back and let's share this directory out. And it brought up Paint. Let's just make sure it's the right one. It's a pretty large logo. Okay. Yep, that looks right. Okay. Let's go ahead and close out Paint. Alright, and let's go back into our C drive here and let's share out this company wallpaper directory. So we'll go to Properties and we'll go to Sharing and we will share. Okay. Let's go ahead and share this with domain users. By default, whenever you add somebody onto your domain controller in Active Directory, they get put into a domain user's OU. So we'll go ahead and add that. Okay. And we're just going to have them as readers. I'm going to share it. And as you can see up there on the folder over here, it gets the sharing icon. It's two little people. And that is our UNC right there, / hostname / share. So let's go ahead and click, there we go. Let's go and copy that. Click done. We'll go to advanced sharing here. Go to permissions. Now additionally, I'm going to add our Vegas employees OU in here as well. Now we only want people on the domain to be able to read this wallpaper. They don't need to change it or modify it, and they don't need full control, so we'll leave it at read. So let's go ahead and add Vegas employees. And additionally, once it adds them, okay, that's our OU. We're going to only have them have read control as well. So let's go ahead and apply that. Click OK. Close this out. Okay, and it's been shared. Okay, so let's go back into our Microsoft Management Console, and then we're going to go into our GPMC. We'll wait for it here. Alright, and we'll go back into we're under desktop here. So let's go to, we have active desktop enabled, and we're going to go here to desktop wallpaper. As you can see, its state is not configured. Let's go ahead and change that. So let's go ahead and enable this. The wallpaper name is basically the path. Now you can specify two paths. You can give what's called a absolute path, which would be something like C:/ C:/wallpaper / wall.jpg, whatever like that. Or we can give it what's called an relative path, which is UNC, which would be this right here, right? So that's the folder. Now, what I'm going to actually do is, since I'm not sharing this wallpaper with anybody else on a network, I don't have any client workstations logging into my domain controllers, I'm just going to specify a absolute path. So we'll go C:\wallpaper /wallpaper. There we go. .jpg. Go ahead and center that. And actually, I believe it's called company wallpaper, so I'll double check just to be sure. Let's see. Click OK there. Close this. Man, this virtual machine is just running so slow today. I don't know what's going on. And we're going to go into our local C drive here, and I'm just going to double check the directory name. Company wallpaper, okay. Just wanted to double check. So go back here and call it C/company. Alright, so we'll go ahead and hit apply. Okay, let those take effect. Alright, and additionally, let's go back up to the other desktop settings. As you can see that the state now is enabled, and we have set the wallpaper for everybody. So let's go ahead and go back up to desktop here, and let's change some other things around. We'll remove the desktop cleanup wizard. We'll go ahead and enable that. Remove computer icon from desktop. Let's double click on that. And I'm just showing you guys this just so you could get a feel of all the different ways to actually lock down the client's workstation, their desktop anyways. Alright, so remove computer icon from desktop. Let's go ahead and enable that. That way they don't have access to the computer through that icon. Let's go ahead and remove the recycle bin icon. This kind of adds a level of security because they can delete things into the recycle bin, but then they can't actually remove them permanently from the recycle bin without calling, an administrator or the help desk. So let's go ahead and enable that. And there's always shadow copy and stuff like that. At the advent of Windows Server 2003 had shadow copy, so not to worry. Alright, let's see here. What else is there? Hide network locations, remove my documents, hide and disable all items. We don't want to do that. Prohibit users from manually redirecting profile folders. Everything looks pretty good here. And prohibit editing items. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll go ahead and enable that as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and close out of our Group Policy Management Editor. And we will go back into our Microsoft Management Console here. Okay, and I'm just going to double check everything. Okay, biggest employees, alright, good. So, let's go ahead and we can close our Microsoft Management Console and we'll test this out. Alright, and before we exit out here, I'm going to run a command prompt and I'm going to run GP update. Additionally, I could just type in GP update and it would run, but I want you guys to see kind of what's going on when it does group policy update. So we'll run GP update like that. Go ahead and hit enter. And remember, if you are applying group policy and you're finding that it's not taking effect, it may be because you need to refresh the policy by running GP update. That just makes sure everything is pushed through and everything is replicated throughout the domain controllers and throughout the network. Alright, so user policy update has completed successfully. Computer policy update has completed successfully. Great. So let's go ahead and log off of the administrator profile, and we will log in as Samuel L. Jackson, our Vegas employee. So let's log off here. Forgive my slow hardware, guys. I'm not going to blame it on Windows. It's definitely my non-state-of-the-art hardware. I has trouble running a couple different virtual machines at once. Plus, I have a Apache server running as well. So we're greeted with our active message here, our welcome message. Welcome to the null-site computer code domain. All trespassers will be shot. Have a nice day. Alright, so let's switch users, go to other users, and let's log in as Samuel Jackson. I believe he is the one that we did not filter from the OU for that GPO. So, he had a complex password. Let's log into his profile. User settings. It's taking a little bit longer because like I said, the computer's running really slow today, and not only that, this is a brand new user profile that we set up, so it's got to go through and see what all GPO definitions are going to be applied to this user in this OU. So we'll just wait for this. If this does take too long, I'm going to speed it up anyways. And as you can see, he does not have any icons here, and the group policy is being applied to him because it's forcing him to use our company desktop here. So we'll just wait for the desktop to load. Okay. So as you can see, there's no my computer icon. The recycle bin icon is not there anymore. If he tries to go in and goes to personalize and tries to change his desktop, it shouldn't allow it. So let's go ahead and just test that just to make sure. Desktop background. Okay. As you can see, the location is C:\company wallpaper. If you're using a relative path, it would show the host name / the shared directory / the file name that's shared. See here, if we go to the drop down, we'll go into Windows wallpapers. As you can see, there's none listed in there because he's not allowed to change his background. Let's try to do a solid color. Let's just go with green. Go ahead and click OK. As you can see, it still does not work because the GPO that we set in our Vegas employees organizational unit is taking effect, so that's great. So that's just one way to lock down the workstations. As you can see, they can't, they don't have any icons there. There's no recycle bin icon, so if they delete something, they can't permanently delete it out of the recycle bin without calling the administrator. Alright, so let's go ahead and log out of here, and let's log into Michael Jackson's user profile just to see if the filtering that I set up took effect, because they are both part of the same organizational unit, and they're both part of the same group, which is Las Vegas employees. So let's just log in as Michael Jackson. Now, he should not have the company wallpaper applied to his workstation. He should be able to change his desktop wallpaper whenever he feels like it. So I'll cross my fingers, hopefully it works. And I'm sorry guys, this is taking so long. I will hopefully I'll be able to speed it up post-production. So get this going. So we're just waiting. It's really pissing me off that my computer is so bogged down today. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna have to reboot it. So again, this was David at Nullset Computer Company, and this was part 2 of 4 videos for the Group Policy Management Console. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and comment to my YouTube page. I will answer all comments, and feel free to shoot me an email, www.nullsetcomputercode.com. I just updated and refreshed my website. It looks way better. Got some Flash going on. It looks really cool.